of Jesus' sacrifice connected to the sacrifice for sins in the tabernacle. Wouldn't that be an amazing and epic movie? Wouldn't that bring so many people to the Lord? There would be flashbacks going forward and backward in time, the timeline, and then they would show the dark enemy on the heels of the Israelites, trying to wipe out the bloodline of Jesus before he could be born. It would be the best Terminator movie ever.
I think I'm going to want to put a little brown up here at the top. Not much, but just a little bit of brown. Let's see, I need to get rid of these pins.
There would be false worship. There would be the cult of Tammuz trying to preempt the Jesus timeline, trying to copycat before he was born to throw people off the trail. And then there would be the few faithful who saw the timeline from start to finish and were not deceived and tricked by it, trying to raise God's people up in the last days. I mean, you could do an entire franchise on this. You could do part 1, part 2, the beginning, the aftermath, the 1,000-year reign. You could do the whole thing.
Alrighty, I think I'm going to go with 5 inches. Now let's go with 6, and then that way I've got some I can cut off on the back. Look, we got some to put in our, no, we're gonna wait on that. We ain't gonna do that right now. Alright. Now, we want about 5 inches on this one.
No one will ever do it. And that's how you know. That's how you know who the true Most High is. Because they won't make a movie of the Bible, which would be the most epic movie ever. They won't do it because they do not want to show glory to God. And now you know. The screenplay's already written. It's in the Bible. But no one will do it. Instead, they do these knockoff versions of bits and pieces of the Bible that they then try to rewrite in their image to make you doubt God. Like the discussion we had about evil, the word evil in the Bible, and how it was placed there when other words could have been used and were used, such as, can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's 100 different words that the word evil can mean in the translation of that word. But they chose that word. Why? To place doubt in your mind. To chip away at God's judgment. You guys, God's judgment inherently cannot be evil. Period. Evil connotates a lie. Evil connotates deception.
We have this part done, and I think it works out pretty good. Let's see what we have. Ooh, I don't have enough to bind it and put a strip down the side. I wished I had some to put a strip down the sides, but I don't. Oh man, somehow we got, no we didn't either. It's bigger, smaller, okay? Oh, I can handle that. And then we got small right up here at the top. And we got Mama Cat. What are we gonna do with Mama Cat? Alright, I'm gonna see if I can't find some material to go on the sides here, and it will contrast with this. Alright, we went to Walmart and I got some brown and some purple. I got it just as close as I could. There we go. And it really blends in really good. And I got brown. So now, put that over there. Get this out of the way. That thing is full. Alright, we're going to have batting, and I'm hoping that this batting is long enough. If not, I'm going to have to cut some more out. Oh, come on. Get up here in the corner. Oh, but yeah, look at that. We got that much left over. That works good. Alright, let's fold her back up. Alright, I'm going to want 2 of them. It don't really have to be perfect what I do with it there. Okay, there's one. And 2. We can't iron on that no more. It's too small. But you know what? I'd most definitely give it a try. Alright. Now, let's go with a brown. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to open this up. And we will let it air out a little bit. So let's just open it up, and then we're going to open this one up, and we're going to let it air out a little bit, so that it'll probably flatten out and do a whole lot better. Alright, dude, I think this right here is 4 yards. Yep, this purple is 4 yards. It's not like I won't use it. I will. Timmy's with us for a couple of days. Alright, I cut these 6 inches long, so they will be on the outside of it. Now, these right here, I want to cut down to 6 inches too, but I gotta go the right way with it. Well, we're gonna go down 7 so we can cut off a little bit of it. And I'm going I'm not left-handed, I'm right-handed. See, I gotta kinda try to get this straight. Alright, I got some so I can cut off to make even, which really, it really don't matter because I'm going to be cutting some of it off anyway. Alright, so here is 1. I have to have 3 because it's not long enough. And I want to keep my salvage as much as I can. I want to keep my salvage. Alright. So I'm going to take one of them and I'm going to half it. and sew it to the other one. So half of it to one, half of it to the other, so that it will be long enough. So here we go with this. I don't have to be perfect because it's not really that, it's really about this much that I'm going to need, but I have it to do it. So one will go to one, and one will go to the other. Alright. Let me see. I need to redo this so I can do it right. This is 4 yards long, so and I have to have the same with it too. Oh, come on. Okay. Now come on now. Man, I'm not gonna like this dress doing me this way. Going off my shoulder like that. Alright. I don't want to lose this because I may have to use some of it to go around it on a binding. I'll say it. I mean, I don't know when, but I will. Alright. So, I'll be cutting this in 4. And I'm not going to worry about the 6 inches because we will end up trimming some of it off. And I am not going to unfold it to get one piece that's 6 inches. So I am going to go right on ahead and cut it. Alright. I need to get me something to drink. Now I'm gonna half it. Alrighty. One will go with one, and one will go with the other. So we are going to go and we're going to sew them down, and then we'll be back. Alright, let's see if we can't clean up this mess so we can continue on and get the rest of it done. Alright, now we have, see, I got that side up there. So we are going to start. Oh, come on. I only want one of you. It's not like all of you will fit. Okay, I'll go that way with it. I want to make sure I keep the salvage edge out. So,
evil connotates evil. Am I wrong? God's judgment in all of those passages cannot inherently be evil because it's God and it's just. In other words, the same act, right? Oh, follow me on this. It's important. The same act can be seen different ways based on the reason for the act. So, if the devil wipes out an entire, I'm trying to think of an example. Prime example, the devil makes a sacrifice. Well, that would be inherently evil. But when God asked sacrifice for the sins, God created all this. So it's not evil, it's a judgment. And so what the devil wants is for you to see all this as one thing. He wants you to see God as evil in his actions. Therefore, I reject those parts of the Bible that says God creates evil. The word could mean 100 different other things, and does and is in other parts of the Bible. It's the biblical translators that chose the word evil instead of the 25 or 50 other words that could have been chosen to put in that spot. And that's where you are believing what a man says instead of what the Holy Spirit is telling you in your heart and what the original language text actually meant to say.
I'll give you another little tidbit that I just learned myself. Let's get over here. When you go to sew it, if you take and spread this apart as you go, it will make it a whole lot better. The needles in here helps it to stay where you need it to stay at. But take it and spread it as you go. I'm surprised all the rest of them turned out okay. Alright. Alright. Let's get done with this quilt. I think it's turning out, and I did that backwards. No! I have got to take this apart. Oh no. Oh. That was horrible. Thanks to Rick. He helped me. He helped me get it. You helped me with this.
Oh. I didn't know you talked. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm working on trying to get the rest of the quilt done. Alright. So now I am going to level these up now. Maybe. This right here is turning out to be a big quilt. Alright, what about it in there? Alright, we're going to check that out. But right now we're going to check this out. Because we got white down here. And I want to level my white at.
Now I'll leave that alone because I know it's a touchy subject. But keep that in mind. Why haven't they made a movie about the Bible? It's really fascinating. Imagine, well, they did do Noah, but that was all messed up. They didn't do that movie right. Imagine Noah getting off the ark. They're the only people on the entire earth. And a rainbow appears in the sky for the first time ever in human history. And they go out and Nimrod starts building a tower in defiance of God. I mean, it just would be amazing. I don't know. I'm just a Bible nerd, I guess. But anyway, let's get back to these headlines here.
Right. Now we're on to binding. So, let's see what we got here. Looks like here. Alright, we're going to try to cast out 6 of them.
We got bombs popping off again. This is crazy, you guys. Look at this. NTSB investigating a deadly explosion rocks downtown Youngstown, Ohio. Have you guys heard about this?
Good morning. The explosion happened at the building behind me. It blew glass and debris all over this area. Look at this mangled mess. That was a Chase Bank. Police say several injuries have been reported, including 1 death.
I will leave the last of Enter the Stars at the end of the video so that you can finish hearing it if you'd like to. I know you can't see it, but right there is the signature pot. Deer in the Woods. So, oh, that is beautiful. Just beautiful. I like it. Wow. Sometimes I make quilts and I'm like, I'm stunned at the way they look. Well, it is 46.5 by 58. Wow, you can tell I got it wet by the grass. But there it is. I think it is beautiful. And I appreciate everybody that donates material to me. Oh, we got Cherokee up there. Yeah, she's looking at us. Hey, Cherokee. Hey, pretty girl. Alrighty, I hope you enjoy. We'll see you later.
This morning, authorities are trying to figure out what caused an explosion in the middle of downtown Youngstown, Ohio.
I was coming down and I heard a huge explosion. I saw smoke.
The blast happened Tuesday afternoon at this 12-story apartment building that includes a Chase Bank on the street level. Emergency responders racing to the scene.
My firefighters went floor by floor, clearing that building to ensure that no one else was in that building and no one else was
that one guy.
Overnight, first responders were covering the body of a 27-year-old man who worked at the Chase Bank. Police say 7 people were taken to the hospital, one of them in critical condition.
We have no idea what caused the explosion. We know it did a lot of damage to the bottom of the building.
Looks like a clone of some
Ron
actor.
Flaviano was working nearby when he witnessed the explosion, capturing
Look, you're right next to the DoubleTree. Go figure.
the aftermath on camera moments later.
You see explosions on TV, and all I could think of was 9/11 with the smoke and the
Whoa, he just said it. That's what I said.
dust and everything, just on a much smaller scale. It was just glass, smoke, paper, and all kinds of stuff just coming right out of the building.
Authorities are urging people to avoid this area as they work to determine what caused the blast.
So they still don't know what happened. Have you guys heard about this? Let me go back in the chat. Shocking. Bombs going off. We were just talking about this. Bombs, houses exploding, nothing left. Even the foundation, it disappeared. Wow. Nobody's heard about this. The House of Morgan. Oh, let me put it on, sorry guys. On the live chat here. Always forget to do that. DoubleTree, yep. Boomer, Twin Trees. Absolutely. Oklahoma City bombing, yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Huh. Some people Daryl heard about it. The gas agenda. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to start saying, hey, we figured out what has been causing all these explosions. It's natural gas, and for the first time in history, natural gas just explodes by itself, even though we've been using it since the 1930s. And so now, it's because of global warming that the gas is exploding by itself. And so now we have to get rid of it and go electric. This is probably what they're going to say, right? You just never know what's going to come out of these people's mouths. It's just unbelievable. But all I know is every week something is exploding. Anyway, what else is going on? Well, this is kind of a sad story. This guy and his entire field of cattle got lit up by lightning. Oh my goodness. Lightning strike kills Colorado cattle rancher. 34 of his herd and his wife and father-in-law survive. Now, when have you ever heard of this happening before? Colorado rancher and 34 of his cattle have been killed after a lightning strike over the weekend. Mike Morgan, 51, is feeding some of his herd with hay from a trailer on Sunday when the lightning hit near the town of Rand, about 80 miles northwest of Denver. Do any of you live out there? Can you confirm this story? He died despite life-saving efforts. George Crockett, a country coroner in the town of Rand, close to Denver, where the farmland is located, told ABC News that Morgan's father-in-law and wife were nearby and survived. The strike also bowled over dozens more cattle gathering around the trailer, waiting to eat. How sad is that? Wow. Don't go outside when there's lightning in the air, but I don't know. I guess some people just, I don't know, maybe there was nothing in the air that looked like lightning. Maybe this was some kind of hit. Who knows what's going on with these people? Calling down fire out of heaven. Speaking of fire out of heaven, they're now saying that the sun isn't done yet with this brand new phenomenon that no one seems to acknowledge is brand new. The northern lights happening all around the world. Everybody thinks this is normal. Auroras could paint Earth's skies again in early June. I mean, I can't even believe I'm reading this title. This is something out of a movie. Auroras could paint Earth's skies again in early June. Here are the key nights to watch for. So now, on a summer night, you can watch the northern lights. And that's just normal. Wow. Now remember, we saw this in the Heroes franchise. We were decoding the TV show Heroes, and we saw episodes about a particular character with superpowers that could cause the northern lights to go down as far as Los Angeles. Remember that? I showed you that? I couldn't even believe that. So they were already predictively programming people for this. But this is the shape of things to come in our reality. Let me go back in the chat, see what's up with you guys. Have you guys heard about this? Now, we all know what Biden wants to do. He's executing it now. He is trying to force everyone into electric vehicles, which is a non-sustainable technology. They keep telling us it's sustainable and it's going to save the planet, but we know it's absolutely not. So for those of you that get mad that I don't talk about Biden, I always talk about Biden. But also Trump needs to be called out. We already know what Biden's doing. We called him out. We talked about this lithium mining that Biden is pushing, that he's even convinced some of our Republican governors to mine lithium in their states. Many of your Republican governors have agreed to go into contracts with companies like Exxon to mine lithium out of the ground, which is a very, very, very dirty process. It pollutes groundwater. It creates fields of just nothingness and death. So this is why we have to call out both sides, right? We can't just say, I want my side to win. I'm not going to say anything bad. Well, talk to Sarah Huckabee, who just signed a contract with Exxon to basically pollute southern Arkansas with lithium mining. Okay, this is why we have to hold people accountable. It's not about a contest. They want you to believe it's about a contest. That's how they get away with what they do, because they just keep flip-flopping the sides. But anyway, make a long story short, we already know what Biden's doing. He's already shown his hand. He's federalized electric vehicles. I mean, not federalized. He's basically trying to turn the whole electric federal fleet into electric vehicles. He's pushing for legislation to put higher controls on appliances. We covered all that. So yes, we talk about Biden. And he's basically forced some appliances to be electric when they used to be gas. We already know what he's doing. But Trump's playing a double hand. He's pretending to want to do something about electric vehicles, but he's really not, because if he did, he would have erased every single subsidy for electric vehicles. In other words, federal money given to people like Elon Musk to stop electric vehicle production. So now he says, oh, this time I'm going to do it. He says he'll stop all electric car sales. Well, first of all, how are you going to do that? Second of all, should we take him at his word? Wait, was this before or after he continued to subsidize the electric vehicle market with continued federal spending? Or was it before or after he basically became friends with Elon Musk and got back onto Twitter? Or he was saying the same thing before he became president, that he didn't like electric vehicles. Then he liked them, then he didn't. Here's my point. You can't take these people at their word. They're all in on it. And for them, it's about money. And they don't really have a side. I mean, if you had to describe the side these people are on, they're Satanists. They do what they want, but they have to convince you that they're one way or the other, right? Let me give you an example. You talk to any liberal and you ask them, what is going on with electric vehicles? Well, about half of the liberals will tell you, gosh, it's dirty. They haven't perfected the technology. You have to mine lithium out of the ground. It's very dirty. A lot of the elements inside the electric vehicles are hard to find. They're rare earth minerals. We're highly dependent on China, which isn't good. And it's probably worse for the environment to be carving pieces out of the earth all over the states of America than it is to just keep going with gasoline, or at least propane, which is relatively clean. And they're willing to take their chances when it comes to that. If you talk to most liberals, they understand that. I'm talking about hardcore liberals, right? They'll be like, but the hardcore liberals, they want everybody on bicycles. And no one's doing that, right? For various reasons. And so, if that's the case, then what does that mean? That means that Biden is still too far to the right for most liberals, right? Because he thinks that electric vehicle technology is the answer, and it's simply not. Listen, if 50% of Americans drove an electric vehicle, first of all, imagine the amount of lithium batteries you'd need. Not to mention the strain on the power grid, which is still largely run by coal and natural gas. So it's a circular argument. You're never going to get anywhere. So that's what I have to say about that. Some people will take Trump at his word just because it's opposite of Biden's perspective, or they think it is, and they'll vote for him thinking he will actually get rid of electric vehicles. And when he becomes president and he does not get rid of electric vehicles, when I call those people out, they will just simply forget that they cared, right? And that's how these people keep advancing the ball. This is how they keep moving the chess pieces, because they rely on our timnesia, that we forget what they told us they were going to do, and people simply forget.